friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Chandra and I make videos about reading, writing, and all things books. Today's video is a discussion topic, really. What does it mean to be well-read? I'm gonna go ahead and state it now. This is one of my opinion videos. I'll share my thoughts. I'll provide some links and resources so you can look at it and, make your own decision. But this is the conclusion that I personally came to. First, the definition as provided from Merriam-Webster of well-read is well-informed or deeply versed through reading. That's kind of vague. So then it got me thinking, what does well-read and well-versed through reading mean? How many books can a person read in a lifetime? And I found a couple different numbers. The ones that I picked, I felt like it gave a pretty good range, was anywhere from, and this is the median, this is not reading the least number of books per year or reading the maximum. It's about 4,600 to 4,880. Again, a lot of range. And there's also people who don't read very much and people who read an excessive amount, more than me. And I feel like I read a lot, so a stupid amount. Dobby, this is a topic for later. So my average since I started reading is 41 books per year. At least that's since I started documenting. I think that's pretty good, especially, some years have been pretty rough, so I didn't read nearly as many books those years. So I think there's some accounting for that. Dobby, stop trying to eat everything. That's bound for you. He was being very cute and very naughty at the same time. Stop it, you cannot eat that. No, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have tossed it. He was instantly So the first layer is understanding genre. Not a specific genre, just in general. You are aware that there are different genres and genre exists. That is the first level of being well-read. Number 2, understanding one or more specific genres. That's okay, I know what genre is, and I know what fantasy is, or I know what historical fiction is, or I know what romance is. That's the second level of being well-read. Number 3, understanding enough about the tropes of a specific genre to know what you like and dislike. That would mean if I turned you loose in a bookstore and you went to the romance section, you would know exactly what books to pick out for yourself. That would be, in my opinion, level 3 of being well-read. Number 4, being able to talk to other readers about mutual interests. This means that you have enough general knowledge of books in different genres to be able to have a conversation with just about anybody about a kind of book that they would like. Number 5, giving and taking appropriate recommendations. Not what you like necessarily, but what someone else would like. You know, based off of a conversation with someone, if the book they're recommending to you is something that you might actually be interested in, and there's the potential for you to enjoy, versus someone recommending a book to you that you absolutely would not enjoy, but you have no idea about that. It could be that you don't like steampunk, and they're recommending a book that's steampunk, versus them recommending steampunk to you. You know that you like steampunk, so it's just a matter of, do you like this steampunk or not? There's the potential that you would enjoy it. There's also the other side where you're able to say, oh, you read X, Y, and Z, you might like A, B, and C as well. Number 6, some books are in multi-genres. As you read those books, you're aware that it fits into more than one category, and you can pick those different genres out. Those would be more of the subgenres, but you are beginning to become aware of subgenres. And number 7, reading multiple books from the same author doesn't necessarily count for this, but you are very familiar with the tropes of a genre, and you have read widely enough to know which ones you like and dislike. And the reason I don't feel that multiple books from the same author count is because sometimes they can be a little bit repetitive, or if they're working with the same character, they're within the range of what that character would do. So you don't necessarily get as much exposure to that specific genre because you feel like that specific author always does things the same way. I think it's important to read several books from a genre at least with similar tropes before you can specifically say, I really understand these tropes, this subgenre well, and I am comfortable communicating that. So those, I think, are the 7 levels, in my opinion, of being well read. So do I consider myself well-read? Somewhere around 5. I'm getting to the point where I can give recommendations and receive recommendations and be like, would I like this, yes or no? And I know for the most part what genres I like, but I'm still iffy on subgenre. And I haven't read enough subgenres for the genres that I enjoy in order to know if I like them or which ones are best for me. And I still read a lot from the same authors. I will read an entire series from one author in a specific genre, so I couldn't say what is typical for that genre outside of that specific author. So that's where I am, somewhere between 5 and 6, starting to really get into where I would consider myself well-read. I would love to hear what you think well-read is. Leave that in the comments for me, I'm curious. In essence, being well-read isn't a general term, but a specific one. It applies more generally at first, and it refines the more you read. Then it applies to you in your specific area of interest. I think it does, I think it can be general, but like for me, where I am in the process, I would say that is well-read. But I also feel like if you've just started reading, then understanding a genre is being well-read for you. And I mean, if we go back to the original definition, well-informed or deeply versed through reading. If you're well-informed and deeply versed through reading on a specific subject, you're well-read in that subject. As a writer, I think it's important for me to be well-read in a broad range of subjects, which is why I classify it the way that I do. But I think it also depends on what your purpose is for wanting to be well-read. At any point in time, once you've found the kind of books that you read, do you really need to continue to explore? If you don't have the desire to, I don't see there's any reason to continue. But that doesn't make you not well-read. It just means you found what's good for you, and that's what you stick with. So here are the areas where I would consider myself the most well-read. Classics. I've read a lot of the classics and I really enjoy them in general, so I keep reading them. Number 2 is fantasy. I read a lot of fantasy. I enjoy fantasy, and I'm starting to really get into the subgenres. I wouldn't say I'm deeply into the subgenres, but as far as fantasy goes, I know it's something that I will pretty much always enjoy. Number 3, historical fiction. This is one that I'm still starting to dabble in because I haven't read a ton of historical fiction that wasn't written by the same author. But I do enjoy it, and it is something that I write a lot of. And number 4, science fiction. Science fiction, I would say I'm more into subgenres. I did make that one of my goals to read more science fiction that was specifically genetic modifications in general. So I'm starting to get into the subgenres, but I would say in general, just the genre is what I'm most familiar with. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and leave a comment below. I'll see you next time. Bye.